Guys, this is Chris from Fright Fights Podcast here once again, going over another franchise frenzy. I've said before in past videos that we have done a franchise frenzy show. Basically, what we're doing is during the break of our podcast that we're doing, we're not able to really record right now, so we are just for fun, just randomly choosing different franchises and just watching those movies, each movie from the franchise, and sharing our thoughts and stuff over on the Fright Fights Facebook page. And then also us hosts are talking about it through text message and stuff. But what I wanted to do was to share my thoughts on these movies with everybody else as well. And hopefully you guys can enjoy hearing my thoughts on them. We've done before, we did the Open Water films, we did the Stepfather films. So today I wanted to talk about one of the most recent ones that we did. We went back and watched the Nightmare on Elm Street films. And so there's quite a bit of them. It did take us a few weeks because we weren't able to watch them like back to back. It was pretty much like one each day or one every other day. And also trying to tie those in with watching like the 100 Horror Movie Challenge and everything. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with it. So the first Nightmare on Elm Street film, it's a classic. You can't go wrong with it. There's a lot of stuff that you like about it. There's not much you don't like about it. The only thing I can say negative would be that the film is a little slow. Going back and rewatching it a few times or seeing it, 5, 6, 7 times, it does feel a little bit slow afterwards. But it still does not make it a bad movie. It's a fantastic film. I love the first movie, and the character of Freddy is one of the best villains ever created for films. He's really, really creepy, really dark, and really, really just interesting of a character. And the death scenes are all really creative and really cool. Love how everything has to deal with dreams. Dreams are kind of fascinating to me anyway, so a serial killer, slasher movie about dreams has always been really cool. Robert Englund is, to me personally, I think Robert Englund is the only person that can play Freddy. He's one of the only people that can play Freddy. I've seen a few other people who have dressed up and done videos as Freddy Krueger, and they do an amazing job. I don't think the choice for the remake was very good, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, first Nightmare on Elm Street movie, a pure classic. It does have this dreamlike quality to it, which makes it really unique, and it kind of fits the setting of the film as well. Then we jump into A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, and a lot of people have problems with this movie, and I don't really understand why. I know that there are scenes in there that some people just don't like. The shower scene where the guy gets his butt hit with a towel, a wet towel. Just the kind of the undertones that are set for the film, and I don't really understand why that would make the movie bad or anything. There's nothing really negative about the film, really. Freddy is really dark in this movie too. This is where he does come up with his little one-liners though, but just not as bad as what Part 3 was. But the swimming pool scene in Part 2 is always going to be one of my favorite scenes in the franchise, where Freddy comes up out of like the boiling hot tub water or the swimming pool water, and starts just slashing random kids here and there. Love that scene. Very, very cool. It's a great film. Yeah, great film. One of the best ones in the franchises as well. But we're going to get into Part 3, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. We had the music video that was made for it, the Dokken Dream Warriors song, which came out of that, which was really cool. But this is legitimately where Freddy become his comical side. He does do the one-liners. He does make it a little bit more goofy. But also, I think this is like just the most interesting story where Nancy comes back. She's gone off to college and gone to get a degree. She's studying in dreams and sleeps and stuff like that, like sleep analysis. And now she's working with creating a pill to stop people from dreaming, which was really cool in the story. Love that aspect of it. Being able to pull people into your dreams was definitely an add-on that they use later on in the films as well. And most people would call this the best of the series. One reason why I do really love the film is in part 3, there's a character that is watching late night TV, and it's right before she gets her head pushed into the TV by Freddy. But my favorite movie of all time is Critters, and that character is sitting there watching the Critters movie on TV, and I've always thought that was really cool that they incorporated my favorite film into the series as well. I think this one might be my favorite of the franchise, and for various reasons. One is I love the comical Freddy. I love the dream clinic and the sleep studying and pulling people into your dreams. I just love all that about it. So now we're going to go into A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master. Again, they use aspects of being able to pull people into your dreams as the main focus. This one does actually have one of my favorite scenes in the franchise too, where Alice is trying to find Freddy, and she takes off running with her boyfriend Dan, and they are trying to catch up to where Freddy is, or who he's trying to kill at the time. And it's like it keeps repeating itself. Like she keeps running down the street, jumping in the truck, driving away, and then all of a sudden it cuts and she's back doing the same thing again. She's like stuck in a loop. And I'm not sure what it is about that, but I really love the idea of, like, in movies when people are like stuck in loops or repeating days after days after days. It's just something really cool and creative that I like, and that's just always stuck with me from that franchise or that film, really. It's also got the scene with the beach, I believe. Or is that part 5? I'm getting the two mixed up here. But we also have Freddy doing his one-liners, and we have the cockroach scene where the lady turns into a cockroach, which is really, really, like, special effects wise, really, really cool. Then we go into Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. And this one, looking back on it again, it's okay. I like the death scenes that they have, that Freddy has in it, and the effects are really good. Freddy looks good as well, I think. I think Freddy always looks good. The only problem is they take the story of, Freddy coming back from Alice having a baby, and, he's using the baby's dreams to come after everybody. And I just did not really like this story, especially whenever you get to the end of it, when she starts seeing, like, when she's in the dreams, and you see, like, this, 8-year-old boy trying to kill Freddy, and that's supposed to be like the future baby or whatever. Like, I don't know, it just, to me, was just kind of really silly and just completely far-fetched, way more than what any of the other films were. Like I said, Freddy looks really good in it, and Freddy has a really cool, one-liners here and there, and some cool special effects and death scenes. That's the main focus from that film that I take away. But then we jump into Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, which was famous for the 3D aspect of it when it was released in theaters. I still have some 3D glasses that was given out I have the ones from the DVD set whenever the DVDs released it onto like the weird 3D glasses that you have, the red and blue ones. But this is really, really too comical for me. Like, there's even the part where Freddy's like playing his video game, and he's, it's like a Nintendo system, and he is controlling the kid with that, and it's literally an animated version with the kid in there. Just very, very weird and very, very comical. But still, I mean, some parts of it can be fun. The part where the Carlos guy opens up the map, and like the map completely takes over the entire like van, and then he wakes up and they're like, "Hey, what's the map say?" And he's like, "Well, the map says we're fucked." Just kind of that was funny, but a lot of it was just too over the top with the references to like the Wizard of Oz and the video game stuff, and then you jump into like the 3D with the demons coming out, like the dream demons talking, and like, I don't know, it was just way too much for me. But every once in a while I like to go back and revisit it, just because it does has Freddy in it. Which leads us to the next film, which is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. a completely new take on the Freddy character. And this one is much more dark, much more serious tone. When all the characters are playing themselves, they're actual actors in Hollywood making a Nightmare on Elm Street movies. And Freddy is created by, coming alive from just the creativeness of the stories. Like, just out of nowhere is created because of it. And you take a look at, Freddy has to be, the only way that you can get rid of Freddy is by putting him back into another make-believe story with making a new movie, which is really cool. I've always loved this one. It does have that dreamlike quality to it as well. I love seeing all the actors play themselves. Even Robert Englund plays himself in there as well. You also have the producer Bob Shaye and Wes Craven's in it as well as himself. Just really enjoy that part of it. That's one reason why I always go back to this one, is just how different it is compared to the other Nightmare on Elm Street movies. But then we ended up having to watch the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. And I'm sorry for anybody who likes this movie, but I could not get into this film. I've tried several times. The first time I watched it, I absolutely hated this film. I hated everything about it. It was boring. The characters were so dull. I hated that they did the whole Psycho thing where they took a character, made you think that she was the main character, and then about 30 minutes into it, kill her off, and then start a whole new person being the main character. I did not like that part of it. Freddy looks absolutely atrocious. I cannot stand the way Freddy looks in the movie. I don't like the way he sounds. There was a part in the movie when I was watching it in theaters, I was almost pure anger when they try to make you think that Freddy is innocent, and they're saying, "Oh wait, we should not be doing this because what if Freddy didn't do this to us? What if we made this up, and you guys killed an innocent man, and that's why he's coming back? It's just for revenge." And when they put that into the story, I'm glad they didn't go with that as the direction. They do change it and make him, he was not innocent, he was guilty. But still, just the fact that they put that in there, when I first saw that, I was so angry that they were going to go in that tone, and I almost wanted to walk out of it. I really did. But I've watched it a few times. Nothing changes the way that I like about, or what I want about this film. It's always, to me, going to be the worst in the franchise. I never want to go back and revisit it. I wish that they would not have even made it, but it is what it is. I know that there's some people out there that like it. I can only say one positive thing from the film, and that has to be the micro naps. They did incorporate that because I believe that micro naps is a real thing that happens, and whenever people try to stay awake for a long period of time, for days and days, their body does experience micro naps. And I thought that was kind of cool that they could incorporate that in there, where you could be, standing still and your body experiences a micro nap, and you see Freddy coming at you, and then he's disappeared, and then he's coming at you again, and he disappeared. Just thought that was the only really cool thing that they kind of initiated into that series. Other than that, that's just not a good movie. But that's my quick thoughts on all of the Nightmare on Elm Street complete franchise. And I would love to be able to do this on a podcast one day and discuss in more detail with my fellow, co-hosts. But as for now, this is just my quick thoughts on the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Later, guys.